know, it's something I've always wanted to do, but coming here as a freshman, I was like, I'm from a small town. I mean, I don't really know that many people. I came here with 3 guys from my high school, and I was like, I saw some of the elections my freshman year, and I was like, I could never do that. There's so many girls. There's so much to do. But then as I started to, like, further my education, I saw that if I really wanted to do it, it was something that I could do. So I just started to kind of diversify myself on campus and sit with people that I normally wouldn't sit with, talk to people that I normally, wouldn't talk to on an everyday basis, and just try to really meet as many people and, really start my foundation here at Ole Miss. And so that just kind of started me wanting to run. It's really something that I think, it's exciting now, but I think when I look back on it as I'm older, I really think it's going to be something that I'm going to cherish and look back on and really remember my senior year off just being Miss Ole Miss and the things that I've gotten to do. When Bill Clinton came to campus, different things that have happened throughout this year that I've been fortunate enough to be asked to represent the campus along with Colonel Reb, to just do different things. I think it really is going to be the one thing that sticks out in my college career. I don't know. I think I thought it was going to be really smooth sailing. It was going to be a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun, but it was really stressful. I think Catherine can kind of echo this, but I didn't sleep at all, and I felt like I was always going somewhere. And honestly, this sounds really weird, but I don't really remember a lot of it because it was just such a blur. I wasn't sleeping. I was always in meetings. I was always speaking to a club. I was always doing something. It was just kind of a whirlwind. It really was. Like, I know I talked to the DM in the yearbook a few weeks ago, and I couldn't, like, put together any, like, I see pictures on Facebook, I see pictures that, like, FIMEs have, and I see different things like that, and I start to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. But it's just, like, one big, like, the whole month of September is just, like, one big blur. But it was a lot of fun. I think it really has. It's kind of cheesy to be like, oh, winning something. Because a lot of people see it as just like a popularity contest. But I think just I didn't really see it as, not that I didn't see it as that big of a deal, but like to a lot of alumni, like they really look up to you, and especially the people who were Miss Ole Miss themselves or were Colonel Reb or Homecoming Queen, they really see you as like a representative and a role model for the campus. And so I think it really kind of changed. I know a lot of people senior year just like, oh, well, I'll just not do anything. Right. I won't go to class. I'll just, have fun. And I think it really kind of changed how my senior year kind of played out, because I've really done a lot of different things, and I've really had to stay really involved and like focused on what I'm doing. So
a lot of responsibility probably.
A lot of responsibility, but good responsibility.
I got you.
And I think it was really, like, the whole day I didn't really think about, oh, I've got to have this many votes or, this many people. And I guess, like, when you see campus, you don't really think, oh, there's, like, 13,000 people here. You just kind of see, like, oh, the FIMEs, and you see the people in your club, you see the people in your class. But when I was standing there and all of, y'all are behind me, and I just remember them saying with, like, 3,000 votes, and I was thinking at first, that's not me. Like, I don't know 3,000 people. Like, that must be, I don't know, that's not me. And then they called my name, and I was like, wait, what? And when I went and found my dad after, he was like, Lauren, do you realize that 3,000 people, like, checked your name today online? And I was like, no, I don't think I know that many people. And, like, now to this day, like, people will come up and they're like, oh, hey, like, we voted for you. Or, like, my friends will say, oh, yeah, this person voted for you. And I'm just like, never seen you before in my life. Thanks. Like, I don't know, it's just really weird to, like, see how big the campus is and, like, how just, because, I mean, I didn't get to do everything all at one time. Like, I had so many people, like, all the FIMEs were so much help, and, like, people, I mean, Andy got all the people from, like, Northeast Mississippi where we were from. It's like everybody kind of went out, and it was just literally, like, a big, I don't even know, it was crazy. I think very outgoing is a thing. You just have to be able to just meet new people, do things that you probably would have never thought you were going to do. After being outgoing, probably just very focused and dedicated, because there are a lot of times that like you'll have to be up at 6:30 on a Saturday morning to go represent the university. And I mean, of course, that may not be my ideal thing to do on a Saturday morning, but it's something that I decided that I wanted to do. The university gave me the opportunity to do it, and now I have to hold up and fulfill that. Hey, Miss Shannon. And so I think just dedicated and outgoing, because you definitely have to. I guess you don't. Most people don't see it as this, but you are the representative for the university. You're the face that some kids, the only face that some kids may see when they come to the university. So I think, you really have to be outgoing and dedicated and really sell the university to those people. A lot of things we have to do are just if we need to meet like special people coming to the university, donors, a lot of alumni, just to kind of thank them for coming, thank them for helping. We did a lot with the big event, because last year the Senate pushed some legislation through saying to kind of distinguish Homecoming Queen from Miss Ole Miss, was that Miss Ole Miss was to be more philanthropic, and she and Colonel Reb were to kind of just really help with anything, kind of a good cause for the university. So this year being the inaugural year for the big event, we really helped push that along. We did several videos for the website. We were kind of recruiters for that. And then we've also kind of been proponents for the Legacy Gift campaign to try to raise money for the new Turner Center in the Union. So we've kind of tried to push that through. Just anything to kind of raise awareness for stuff on campus, because they just see us as two familiar faces that can kind of push things through. I think the month of September, when not up in, I guess just up like right before then, it was just because I was still having to do school, I was still doing FIME stuff, it was just a lot to handle. But after September, it was just kind of like a weight had been lifted and I was fine, especially now. I mean, I'm taking 12 hours, so I mean, it's not really that bad. We haven't yet, but I think this year they had the first reunion for all the past homecoming queens, and so I think it kind of made a lot of the previous Miss Ole Miss winners kind of mad, because they were like, oh, if they did it, so can we? So I think in the future we'll see more of that, maybe the homecoming queens coming together and a lot of Miss Ole Miss. But one thing is, I did an internship for the city of Tupelo last semester with Annabeth Wyatt, and her grandmother was FIME president as well. And then when I ran and won Miss Ole Miss, her grandmother was Miss Ole Miss as well. So we were both FIME presidents and Miss Ole Miss. So that was kind of neat to have that connection with the previous Miss Ole Miss winner. And she actually came to the football game. And I sat with her after I went on the field and got my picture made with her. So it was really neat. Because she was, I think, Miss Ole Miss in 1949. So it's like, I don't even know how many years that is. But we've literally kind of lived the same life through, Ole Miss. I think if there's one thing that I've learned from all of it, it's just that you really have to look at the big picture and kind of take yourself out of it. I know that I was the face on the flyer. I was, vote for Lauren, Lauren Toll for Miss Ole Miss. But it was really about the big picture, and it was something that I could do for my sorority. We hadn't won in, I don't know how many years, and Catherine rolled her eyes, but it was just something like I saw that I had a chance to better my sorority, to better, my future, and to just really, it wasn't about winning, it wasn't about, some people say, oh, well now, you got a lot of votes, everyone knows who. It wasn't about that at all. It was really just about like being able to help others, being able to give something back to the university that I've gotten so much from. And so I think from all the campaigns and everything that I've done these past 4 years, it's just taught me to look at the big picture, kind of look down the road. Yes, this year was fun, getting to represent the university, but I think 20 years from now when I look back on all this, it's really going to mean a lot. And I think for my sorority, especially the seniors, I think it's going to mean a lot to us to know that after so long, we finally united behind something, we did it, and I think it's something that we're always going to remember. know. I don't even know where I see myself for grad school. I'm hoping to get in the MBA program. But I don't know. I either probably Northeast Mississippi somewhere or maybe DC. I guess somewhere in the political realm. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of running for stuff right now, so I don't know if I'll go that route. But more than likely something in public service. I think so. I mean, when I came here, I mean, I was one of four that came from a high school. I mean, there are tons of people that come from Jackson. There are tons of people who come from Memphis, Atlanta, people just from everywhere, and you're just kind of in this small pocket by yourself. And so to think that, like, oh, I'm from Boonville, probably nobody really, except for maybe you and Catherine, because I'm from there, know where that is. And so I think to just kind of take that small town background and just especially show people from like my small town, like, look, who cares if you're not from a big city? Who cares if you didn't come from a big high school? You can do something if you put your mind to it. And I really think that the university has always been, I know here in the past we've really started getting a lot of out-of-state students, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think that it just, I don't know, it just meant a lot to me to be from Mississippi. Miss Ole Miss is something special to me. Like, growing up in Mississippi, I knew what Miss Ole Miss was. So maybe some out-of-state students may be like, oh, Miss Ole Miss, it doesn't really matter to me. But being from Mississippi and being a role model on campus, but also to the state of Mississippi, because people everywhere know that title and they know what it is. And so I think just being from Mississippi just made it even more special. I'm majored in PR, and so I've had to learn a lot about like networking skills, and I think this is probably one of the biggest networking tools that I can use, because alumni everywhere know this. I mean, of course it's on my resume, but people know this, and people who you wouldn't even expect to know, they're like, oh, you're Miss Ole Miss, I went there. And even if it doesn't mean anything necessarily to them, it's a great conversation starter if they went to Ole Miss, if they wanted to go to Ole Miss, had a family member go. So I think it's just really going to be a great networking tool, and also a great way for me to always plug back the university, because they really have, furthered me and given me a lot. Now, I think I would just have fun. I mean, it gets stressful, and I mean, I can say this now, but I mean, because I did win, I don't want to be like, oh, I won, like pompous, but just have fun, because in the middle of it, it gets tense. You get stressed. Like, I mean, some days you can ask Catherine, there were days, and I'm like, why am I even doing this? I'm so tired. I haven't been to class today. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But after it was all over, like, I looked back, and it was so much fun. And so I think, regardless of the outcome, win or lose, just all the fun things that you did, the people that you met. I mean, I met so many people that, like, I probably would have never met or even known to, like I went to the gospel choir, like, 5 times, and, like, I met so many people there, and, like, they sang me a song one night. Just, like, things that I'm going to remember about this. So I think just have fun and just make the most of the time that you have just kind of meeting everybody.